For years, Joel Osteen seemed almost impossible to criticize. With his trademark smile and uplifting sermons, he became one of the most recognizable pastors in the world. Unlike many religious leaders, he avoided political battles and fiery debates, choosing instead to preach hope, success, and encouragement. To millions, he represented a modern face of faith. But over time, that carefully crafted image began to crack. One controversy led to another, and each new headline raised questions that refused to disappear. Today, Joel Osteen's story isn't defined by a single event. It's the result of years of decisions that changed how many people see him. Long before he became a household name, Joel never expected to stand behind a pulpit. His father, Joel Osteen, founded Lakewood Church in Houston, while Joel preferred working behind scenes. For nearly 2 decades, he handled television production, helping expand the church's reach across America without ever preaching a sermon. In fact, he repeatedly turned down opportunities to speak. Everything changed in 1999. Joel finally agreed to deliver his first sermon. Just 6 days later, his father unexpectedly passed away from a heart attack. Overnight, Joel found himself leading one of America's fastest-growing churches. Instead of continuing his father's passionate, scripture-heavy style, Joel introduced something completely different. His sermons focused on optimism, personal growth, and believing that better days were ahead. The approach connected with millions. Attendance exploded. Lakewood moved into a former NBA arena. His books topped bestseller lists, and television broadcasts reached audiences around the globe. A local church had become an international brand. But success also brought criticism. Many theologians argued that Joel's message emphasized happiness more than biblical teaching. His sermons were frequently linked to the prosperity gospel, the belief that faithfulness leads to financial success and personal blessings. While Joel often insisted prosperity meant more than money, critics believed he blurred the line between spiritual faith and material success. The controversy grew even larger after a nationally televised interview in which he was asked whether Jesus was the only path to salvation. Rather than giving a direct answer, Joel spoke about God's love and avoided making absolute judgments. The interview spread rapidly online, with many Christians accusing him of avoiding one of Christianity's central beliefs. Although he later clarified his position, the damage had already been done. For many viewers, it reinforced the perception that Joel preferred broad, inoffensive messages over clear theological answers. Then came the moment that changed everything. In 2017, Hurricane Harvey devastated Houston. Thousands lost their homes as floodwaters swallowed entire neighborhoods. Many expected Lakewood Church, with its massive arena and enormous resources, to immediately open its doors as an emergency shelter. Instead, church officials initially said the building couldn't safely operate because of flooding concerns. But as photos circulated online appearing to show the property largely unaffected, criticism exploded across social media. By the time Lakewood eventually welcomed evacuees and volunteers, many believed the response had come too late. Joel defended the decision, explaining that safety concerns and city coordination influenced the timing. Yet public opinion had already shifted. To supporters, the criticism was unfair. To critics, it became the defining example of leadership that reacted instead of leading. Financial questions soon added more fuel to the fire. Because churches aren't required to publicly release detailed financial records, Lakewood's finances became a frequent topic of debate. Reports estimated the church handled nearly $90 million annually, while Joel himself earned income through best-selling books and speaking engagements instead of taking a church salary. Critics also questioned why such a wealthy organization accepted millions of dollars through the federal Paycheck Protection Program during the pandemic. Although the loan was intended to keep employees on payroll and was later forgiven under program rules, many believed one of America's largest churches shouldn't have relied on taxpayer-funded assistance. Then another bizarre story captured national attention. Years after nearly $600,000 disappeared from a church safe, a plumber repairing a restroom wall reportedly discovered hidden envelopes containing cash and checks connected to the unsolved theft. The mystery made headlines once again, but no one was ever charged, leaving more questions than answers. Just when it seemed the controversies couldn't grow larger, tragedy struck. In February 2024, a woman carrying a rifle entered Lakewood Church between Sunday services and opened fire. Off-duty law enforcement officers responded within seconds, stopping the attack before it could become an even greater disaster. But the incident left a young child critically injured and another person wounded, shocking both the congregation and the nation. For a brief moment, the debate surrounding Joel Osteen faded into the background. The focus became the victims, the officers who acted quickly, and the reality that even places of worship are not immune to violence. Joel called the incident heartbreaking and acknowledged that the outcome could have been far worse had it happened during a packed service. It was one of the few moments where the public saw not a best-selling author or celebrity pastor, but a church leader facing an unimaginable crisis. Today, Joel Osteen remains one of the most influential religious figures in America, but also one of the most polarizing. Supporters believe he has inspired millions with hope during difficult times. Critics argue that his message has sacrificed biblical depth for popularity and commercial success. Whether history remembers him as a visionary who modernized faith or a preacher whose image became larger than his message is a question that continues to divide audiences. One thing, however, is undeniable. Joel Osteen's legacy is no longer defined by his smile alone. It's defined by the controversies, the criticism, the tragedies, and the conversations that continue to surround his name.